Now from here, we're going to stand tall, take a big breath in, exhale out. Another inhale, lifting up, and exhale. And then we're going to forward fold, melting down towards the ground, letting the body hang. We'll sway side to side, loosen the back. Your weight might start to shift. The knees are soft. This is called a ragdoll. And then we'll hold in the center and draw little circles on the floor with your fingertips. And we'll reverse the circles, going the other way. And then come to the center and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders lift to the ears and push back and down. Shake your head, yes. And then bend your knees. And we'll scoop forward again, reaching to the sun. Hands go out and down, going right into our sun salutation. Fingertips touch the mat. We'll step back to a push-up plank position. You can be on your toes or your knees, just going at your own pace, what feels best for your body. And then we'll slowly lower down. You can relax onto the mat or hover. And we'll look forward to a cobra or upward dog. Elbows can be bent or straight. Nice soft neck. And then dig the toes into the mat. Hips lift up and back. Shoulders drop. As the hips push to the back wall, your belly button pulls in. Pushing with each individual fingertip here. Now you could also be on the knees in what's called the puppy dog. You're welcome to add on walking the dog, which means we're bicycling the feet, stretching down the back of the leg. Walk your feet in towards your hands, and we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming to a standing position. Shoulders rolling back and down. Shake your head, yes. And we'll go again in our sun salutation, scooping forward, reaching to the sun, lifting up high, and the hands coming out and down, fingertips to the ground. Step back with one foot, then the other to our push-up plank. You can be on the knees or on the toes. And we'll slowly lower down. You can relax to the mat or hover. Then we'll look forward to a cobra or upward dog. Shoulders kind of pushing back. Breathing in. And exhaling. Toes dig into the mat, hips lift up and back. Dropping the shoulders down. Hips push up to the sky and then back to the back wall. Remembering you could also be on your knees if that's more comfortable. We're going to walk the dog, bend one knee, then the other. And walk your feet in towards your hands and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow, coming to that standing position, kind of tightening the glutes. Propel yourself upwards. Shoulders will roll back and down. Shake your head, yes. Loosen up any tension on the legs as the hands go out and up. For our crescent moon, we'll lean to the left. Push that right heel into the mat. It also can be back slightly, just however you choose to stretch the hip. We're kind of pushing the hip out to the side, reaching the other direction. Hands can be together or apart. And then we'll let the left hand drop down. Right palm turns up, elbow pulls back, so we open up the rib cage a little bit more. And look up to see the sun. Breathing in. And exhaling out. And then stand tall. Place your hand on your head. Just the feet if you need, and let the head fall over to the right side, and we'll wiggle the left fingertips. And then rotate the arm, loosening up the shoulder, turning palm up and down. Breathing in. And exhaling, trying to make the exhales a little longer than the inhale. Slowly lifting. And hands come together at the top and down, heart center. Shoulders relax, take a deep breath in. And exhale. The belly button pushes towards the spine as we push all the toxins out. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Empty out all the air. Inhale, lifting up. Lean over to the right side. Left heel pushes into the mat, or it can come back slightly behind the other foot. Hands can be together or apart. Our crescent moon. Slowly drop down the right arm. Left palm turns up, elbow pulls back. We look up to see the ceiling, the sun. Breathing in and exhaling. And then when you're ready, we'll stand tall, place your hand on your head, adjust the feet. The head falls to the left, we'll wiggle the fingers on the right. Turning the palm up and down a couple times. Lifting with each rotation. Both hands go to the sky, lifting up. So we're lifting that roof off the building. We're lifting the rib cage off the hips. Hands go out and down. And just wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, grab water anytime you need. Should be a little bit warmer than when we started. We're gonna stand hip distance apart, which means your feet are kind of like they're on a railroad track. Camera started leaning halfway. I'll put them on mute for a moment. Now we'll slide the left leg all the way back behind you. So you have your railroad track with the leg coming back, heel lifts up and down. And have those warrior one legs today. We're gonna cross your hand in front and then inhale, lifting up. Hands open up at the top, make them around and down. This is called the Princess in the Valley. Breath in, exhaling out and down. Almost done. One last time, and we'll hold at the top. Let the shoulders drop down. Dig that back heel into the mat. Big breath in. And exhaling out. Now we're actually going to drop down your right hand. It's going to be a leaning warrior, which means we're going to reach the left hand over our head just a little bit. Now what we're trying to do, I'm going to turn sideways so you see, is bring that hip around to the front. So that left hip is kind of coming forward. Your rib cage is lifting. That's it. Right hand can be holding on to the leg if you would like. One last big breath in, and we'll lift back up. Bring the hands down to the front knee. We're going to rock back and forth, going right into a warrior three, lifting the back heel up and down, shifting the weight forward. So we can strengthen the front knee and ankle. We're going to tap the back toe. You can lift one hand forward or to the side. It could be both hands. Belly button pulling in, finding that spot for your eyes, one focal point. The hands can be out or on that front knee. Some people even walk their hands down to the floor. So you choose where you'd like to be in your warrior three today. We'll lower the back foot down, rock back and forth. I did not wear my knee brace. We're gonna walk to the front, adjusting any tension on the ankles and stand hip distance apart. And we'll bring right foot back. Heel lifts up and down a couple times. And then we'll lift your hands straight up to the sky because our princess is in the mountain. And she's going to travel down and forward to the valley. Big breath in. Smelling the fresh air at the top of the mountain. Breath in, then exhaling out. One last big breath here. And we'll just keep your hands down on that front knee. And we'll take your right hand up. It comes over to the side, breathing in. It's our leaning warrior today. We're just trying to open up the hip. It kind of comes forward a little bit, drops to the front, opening up the rib cage and waistline a little more. Hand on the front knee or up to the side on that left. We'll take one last big breath in here. Let the hand come out and down to the front leg. We'll rock back and forth to strengthen the front ankle and the knee, going right into the warrior three. Shift your weight forward, hands can stay on the knee. You can lift that back toe up or it can be down. You can just tap it every once in a while, testing your balance. You can lift one hand forward or to the side or both hands. Find a focal point for your eyes, a spot to keep your eyes looking at. And you can have your hands on the knees, forward to the side, or you can hand down to the floor. Take one last deep breath in. Lower that back foot down. We're going to rock side to side. And then slowly open up. Out to the sides, bend and straighten the knees, lifting up and down a couple times. Shoulders roll back. Then we'll inhale, lifting up to the sky. And we're going to drop the hips down in our temple pose. Hands can be high in the spire of the temple. Or you could always bring the hands down with a prayer inside the temple. You can lift one heel, both heels, or keep your feet on the floor. So you choose what you need today. We are thinking of dropping the hips, the tailbone down. Tailbone might even push forward slightly. We're feeling that opening of the knees, stretching the inner thigh. In our temple pose, hands up or down, it does not matter. And we're going to slowly release, standing up, dropping the heels down, hands come out and down. Turn your toes forward, push the hips back. Belly button pulls in, and then we slide your hands down. Nice forward fold, letting the hands relax wherever they fall. It might be on the knees, the feet. Some people bring the hands to the floor or even reach back behind you through the legs. If you would like, you can shake your head yes, just loosening up the neck a little bit. You can shake your head no. Shake your head yes again. And then when you're ready, walk your hands up the legs, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to tighten the glutes to kind of propel yourself upwards, engages the core. So lift up tall, shoulders roll back and down. And then we'll turn the left toe out. Bend and straighten the left knee. The knee will stay bent. We bring the knee back so you can see the big toe on the inside, feeling that inner thigh stretch as we lift up halfway. Shoulders relaxing down. We'll turn your head looking over the left shoulder. Shoulders are relaxing. Toes pushing into the mat. Let the heels dig down a little deeper. And then from here, we'll turn left palm up. Right hand drops down. You can wiggle the fingers at the top. You can rotate the arm. And then reach a little higher to the sky, feeling that stretch from the hip up through the fingertips. Lengthening. We'll take one last big breath in. Let's lower down halfway. And then straighten the left knee. So both legs are straight and we'll push the hips to the right. Reach fingertips to the left and slowly windmill down till fingertip touches the leg. It does not matter where it's at. You can look down at the ground, to the side of the room or up to the sky. Right hand might be high, right hand might be on the heart, bringing the shoulder back. It might even be reaching over your head. We have a lot of options today. In our triangle pose, creating those triangles with the arms, the legs, the torso. And then when you're ready, left hand is going to walk up the left leg, right hand drops down. Bend and straighten the knee. Turn your toes forward, walk your feet in nice and slow. And we're going to rock side to side in what we call the penguin pose. Wiggling the fingers, the toes, drawing little circles. Shoulders roll back and down, penguin pose. And then when you're ready, we'll turn the right toe forward. Bend and straighten the knee. And then we'll hold the knee coming back, lift up halfway. Shoulders relax down, dig the toes and heels down. And we turn, looking over the right shoulder. For strong warrior two, breathing in and exhaling out. Turn right palm up, left hand will drop down, reversing our warrior two. Now you can wiggle the fingers at the top. You might rotate that right arm. Then reach a little higher. Arm can be bent, it can be straight or anywhere in between. As we feel that lifting from the hip up through the fingertips. One last big breath in, and we'll lower down halfway. Straighten the right knee, reach right fingertips out and away. Windmill down till fingertip touches the leg. You can look down at the ground, to the side of the room, or up to the sky. In that triangle pose, left hand could be high, it might be on the hip, it might be on the heart, bringing the shoulder up and back. The head could be over the head. Just to choose what's best for you. Take one last big breath in, and then slowly walk your right fingertips up. Left hand drops down, bend and straighten the knee. Return back to the front, walking the feet in nice and slow. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, grab water if you need. So you come to the front of your mat. We're going to stretch a little bit into the neck and the shoulders. Shoulders roll back and down. We shake your head yes. And then we're going to take your left hand behind you, and then your right hand sits on top of that left hand. Shoulders roll back and down. And then the shoulders push all the way down and your hands slide down your backside. So we're really lowering the shoulders and bring your bottom lip over your top lip. And lean your head over to the right side. Feeling that stretch down the neck, across the chin, maybe through the collarbone towards the shoulder. Just bring your head back to the center. And we're going to change which hand's on top. So the left hand comes on top of the right hand, shoulders roll back again. Take your bottom lip over your top lip and let the head fall over to the left. Now we're going to add a forward fold, bring your head back to the center, release any tension in your mouth. And do it's called a lion's roar, opening the mouth. And then closing, and then do it again. Big breath in. And exhaling, we're going to forward fold. So you still have your hands touching. You might lace your fingers, however you feel comfortable. So we forward fold, we're going to lift your palms towards the sky. Now it's okay if your hands are not touching. You're just lifting up. Our peacock arms. So those are the feathers of the peacock. If your hands are apart, your fingertips are spread. Your hands can be together. One last big breath in, and we'll slowly lower the hands down, slowly lift up tall, tightening the glutes and the abdominals, lifting the body. Release the hands, wiggle the fingers, the toes. And we're actually going to move on to a lizard pose. Well, maybe we'll do the lizard pose next time. We'll inhale, lifting up. It's coming next week. Hands come out and down. Oh no, we can do it. Let's do it. We'll bring your right leg back. Lift the right heel up and down. And we're going to lift the heel up. So it's like a runner's lunge. A really good stretch for your hip flexor. Your hands can stay on the front knee. And we're going to wiggle the heel back. So we go a little deeper to go into that lizard pose. Hip drops down. Taking a deep breath in. Now your hands can stay on the legs, or you can lift one hand up to the sky, both hands to the sky. So it would naturally be a runner's lunge, but when you lift the hand, it's called a crescent lunge. So you see that curvature of the back, lifting that rib cage. So you have that curve coming around back of the leg, up the spine, and through the arms. That's your crescent lunge. And we'll bring both hands to the front knee. Start sinking down because our fingertips are going to touch the floor. So we're kind of walking your hands down the leg, fingertips touch the ground, and then we set the knee on the floor and lift up the back toe. Wiggle the heel, moving the ankle, and then shift your weight back, lifting up the front foot. Toes come towards your nose. Now I want you to think of pulling the belly button into the spine, pushing the hips back and leaning forward. Now your spine is actually straight, so you're just kind of coming a little closer towards the leg. It does not have to be a big stretch. We'll feel the stretch on the back of the leg as you suck in the stomach and push the hips back a little farther. Hands can be anywhere on the floor or the leg. Some people hold on to the foot. But we're having a nice straight spine here, just squishing to the front. Hopefully you're feeling that stretch on the back of the leg, the calf, maybe behind the knee, maybe up the hamstring. And then we'll slowly shift your weight forward. Now this is where I want you to adjust. Dig that back right toe into the mat, lift up the knee and set it back down. If your knees ever bother you, you can put a blanket or pillow just to give that kneecap a little cushion. Now this is your lizard pose. We just shifted your weight forward. The hips are coming to the front. If you're ever looking for more of a challenge, you can dig the top of your foot into the mat and lift up the knee. So your leg is long and hovering the whole time. Really stretching the quadricep muscle on the front of the leg as it's lengthened. One last big breath in, let the knee drop down, and we'll shift your weight forward, point the front toe, feel that stretch up the front of the shin. Try to stretch the front of the ankle. Now you might sit up tall for a minute, suck in the stomach, and then exhale, push the hips back. Find that extra stretch. The toes pointed this time. So we are trying to feel a little bit of the stretch in the arch of the foot. You might even get a little cramp in your foot because it's not used to being pointed. Unless you're a ballerina, you might be well versed in our pointing toes. One last big breath in. And exhale down. Your foot touches the floor. We're going to shift your weight forward. Dig that back right foot into the mat, lift up the knee, set it back down. Now, you're back into your lizard pose, but we're going to do a twisted lizard. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this a little bit. We're going to keep right hand on the floor, left hand might touch the knee. The knee, kind of rock it back and forth, loosening up the hip. So you determine whether you want to keep that knee in close, or if you want to stretch the hip and have the knee come out a little bit, you can adjust. With the left hand touches the left knee and we look over the left shoulder. And that may be all the stretch you need, just gently turning. Some people come onto the right elbow. Some people lift their left hand towards the sky or place the left hand on their back left hip. So the weight is shifting forward. We have that nice long leg on the back side. That right hip is lengthening out. So we shift to the front. We'll take one last big breath in and bring both hands to the floor. Or you can have your right hand on the right knee because we're actually shifting your weight back. Slide that front foot in because we're going to get ready to stand up. This is where we kind of practice our standing. You can place both hands on the knee or have one hand on the floor. Dig the back toe into the mat, straighten the leg. You can turn the toe out on the back side. Walk your hands up the legs. Or you can have one hand on each leg. You can also step forward, walking to the front. So just gently walking up, however feels best for you. It's just so you can practice getting on and off the floor. And we're gonna do all that again on the other leg. So we're gonna bring left leg straight back, hip distance apart as the leg comes back. The heel lifts up and down a couple times. And then the heel stays lifted, hands are on the front knee, and we'll rock the heel back. So we come to that runner's lunge, whatever that looks like for your body. Now, as you hold, you can keep your hands on the knee or you can lift one hand up, creating that curvature. Our crescent moon could also have both hands, but one hand is sufficient. It just creates the nice rounding spine, and we're rounding the front of the hip and the rib cage. When the arm is lifted, it creates a little more space for that hip flexor to stretch. But it's okay to have both hands down, or you can have both hands up. Now, eventually we will bring both hands to the front knee so we can start sinking down towards the ground. At any point, your hands can come to the floor, but you're really feeling that deep stretch on the hip flexor. Now we'll walk one hand down and then the other, if you tend to need the cushion for the knee, and place it down here. Lift up the back toe, kind of wiggle the toe, get any tension off the ankle because we had a lot of tension on the foot. It was stretching the arch of the foot. We're going to shift your weight back and lift up the front toes. Belly button pulls in, hips push back. We're stretching behind the knee. We're stretching the back hamstring, the calf, maybe around the heel of the foot, up that Achilles. The toes come towards your nose. Now I want you to think of pulling the stomach in, hips pushing back, and having a nice straight spine. You're just hinging forward. Hands can always be on the floor. They can be one on each side of the leg. Wherever it's comfortable, they can be on the leg. We'll take one last big breath in here and shift your weight forward. Hands touch the floor, dig the back left toe into the mat, lift up the left knee and place the left knee back down. Shift your weight to the front so the left hip starts to stretch. So you take a deep breath in here, relax the back foot, and melt forward into that lizard. Now this is our straight lizard. In a moment, we'll do the twisted lizard. We're just feeling that length on the back leg. If you're looking for a little more of a challenge, you can be on the top of the foot, kind of stretching out the toes, stretching out the leg. You feel that extra length and strength, but without the toes digging into the mat. So we're stretching the top of the foot, stretching your shoelaces. One last big breath in and we drop the knee down, shift your weight back. Now that toe naturally lifts, so we want to point it forward, feeling that stretch in the front of the foot, feeling the stretch up the front of the shin, belly button pulling in, hips pushing back. We hinge forward. Just melt to the front. Does not matter where the hands are, they're just there for support. Nice deep breaths, nice slow breaths, a lot of exhaling, pushing out lactic acid, lengthening the muscle. And then we will shift your weight forward, but dig the back left foot into the mat, lift up the knee and drop it down. Now this is your twisted lizard today, which means we support with that left hand, right hand touches the knee might wiggle back and forth, finding out where you want the knee. It might be in close with the knee being hugged. As we look over the right shoulder, or the right hand can go up to the sky or beyond the hip. Now, you might even choose to add on being on that front elbow. So if that left arm wants to come down to the ground at hand, just be gentle with your body today. Your twisted lizard. There's always a lot of options. Releasing comparisons in yoga. Yoga is for you, so do the best you can in your body, your pose. And then we'll bring the hand down, lifting up to both hands, placing them back on the knee. I'm going to shift your weight back and forth a little bit. Slide that front foot in. We're going to get ready to stand. So that means we dig the back toes into the mat, lift up the hips, straighten the back leg, and however you choose to walk up to a standing position, rolling the shoulders back and down, shaking your head yes, grabbing water anytime you need. Now we're going to get ready to say goodbye to the sun, lifting the hands up and down. So the lizard pose is the pose for the month of August, unless I change my mind by next week. I'm going to push the palms up, big breath in, and then exhale out and down. I normally do the lizard pose once a month. This time we're going to do it every day of the month. I'm going to sway side to side, loosening up the tension. But that just means we'll need to have the little cushion for our knee if you need the extra support. Now you might draw circles on the floor as you forward fold. Some people place their hands on the back of the knees and fold their arms behind, whatever feels best for your body today. But we're going to step back with one foot, then the other. Going to all fours, it's a downward dog to begin with. We are going into the dolphin pose, which is our pose for the month of July. We're going to come on to one elbow, then the other, kind of shifting the weight. Belly button pulling in and up, hips pushing back. The dolphin pose gets a nice deep stretch on the back of the legs. It's also stretching the arch of the foot because the heel's lifted a little. But it relieves the tension on the wrists. So if you tend to have wrists that bother you, you can wrap them for class. Wear one of those 80s sweatbands on your wrist if you like. Or this is a good alternative to your downward dog where you can be on your elbows. We're going to bend the knees, shifting your weight down. Now, a baby dolphin is on the knees, very similar, just that weight on the elbows. But we're going to go ahead and go straight from this baby dolphin into our child pose, letting the hips push back and relax. Hands might be forward, or if you're more comfortable, they can be out to the side or next to the feet. Child's pose is a resting pose where you slow your breath, slow your heart rate, and relax the body. We'll take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the head under, round the spine, arch the back. And then flatten the hands down, look forward to what we call the cow pose, bottom lip over the top lip. Tuck under to the cat, rounding the spine like a cat that's scared or upset. They arch the back. Inhale, looking forward to the cow. Just moving our spine in all directions. This would be flexion of the spine in the cat. Extension of the spine, looking forward to the cow. Tucking under to the cat. One last cow, extending. Now we'll come to a nice flat back for a side cat. We'll bring right shoulder to the right hip, looking at the right hip. And then left shoulder to the left hip, looking at the left hip. Wagging the tail side to side. And then we'll hold in the center, shifting your weight forward, laying down on the front of the mat. Have the right arm extending for our scarecrow, digging the right fingertips into the mat. We lift up the rib cage, drop the shoulder down, lift up the chin, and set the right ear on the ground. Now, if you'd like, you can stack the hips, that left hip on top of the right, the left foot might fall behind. Just adjust for your body. Left hand can be supporting anywhere out to the side. It might be on the hip, it might be over your head, whatever feels best. Be gentle with the spine, with the hips stacked. If that bothers your spine, please stay on your stomach and just stretch the arm. Let's roll back onto the stomach, left arm extending, support with the right hand, lift up the rib cage, drop the left shoulder down, lift up the chin, and rest left ear on the mat. Stack the hips if you would like. That right hip on top of the left, the right foot falls gently behind. So we breathe in and exhale out. Roll back onto your stomach, both arms extending. Inhale, lifting up, the shoulders off the mat. Maybe come back and away. Feel a nice long neck. Fingertips might be touching the ground, toes might be up. You have a lot of different options here, doing what's best for you. And then bring the hands forward. You can add a little swimming motion if you would like. And then slowly lower down. Drag your fingertips in, elbows touch the mat. Shoulders roll back and down. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, relaxing into the Sphinx, preparing us for our bow and arrow, bending your right knee, pushing that right hip into the mat. If you'd like, you can reach back, holding on to the foot, the sock, the pant leg, be with the same hand, opposite hand, no hand, both hands. Head can be high or low. You can have one foot or both feet. That'll give you time to do one foot at a time, getting a nice deep stretch into both legs. This is one of the most important stretches for your body. So you should do this multiple times a day if possible. We're going to slowly release, bend and straighten the knee. And change sides, bending the left leg, pushing that left hip into the mat, reaching back, holding on to the foot, the sock, the pant leg, the same hand, both hands, opposite hand, no hands. You do this lying on your stomach, but also lying on your side. You do standing up, holding onto a wall, a table. You're just reversing the tension from being in a seated position most of the day. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bend and straighten the knee. We're going to bend both knees when you're ready and let the legs sway side to side in a pendulum or windshield wiper. Or windscreen wiper. When we come back to the center, let the toes come down, place your hands underneath your shoulders, lift up to all fours, take the legs a little wider for a wide angle child's pose, or a frog pose. If the hands are forward, it's the child's pose. Frog pose, elbows come towards the knees. Head rests on the floor wherever it's comfortable. It might be with the head turned. Just be gentle with the body. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, lifting up, bring the knees to the center. Come onto your elbows for a child's prayer. Hands come together, walk the elbows to the front, and then we shift your weight back. That prayer comes behind the head. And then as the hips shift back, the elbows might start to drag on the floor towards the knees. So we feel that extra stretch under the arm. Toes might be digging into the mat, or they might be curled under or flat feet, whatever feels best. In your child's prayer today, it's prayer pose with the hands, child's pose with the rest of the torso and the body and the legs. Let's lower our hands down, place them underneath your shoulders and lift the head up. And we'll lean to the side and bring the feet around to the front, shaking out any tension that you might have today. We'll point and flex the feet and bend the right knee. We're going to cross the right foot over. Sorry, your right knee, it's nice. And we'll bring the left hand to the front, right hand behind your back, turning the torso, the shoulders, the neck. Side of the room. And then we'll come back forward nice and slow. Place one hand on the knee, one hand on the foot. Cradle the baby, rock it side to side. We're just kind of loosening up the hip. Now you can cradle the baby really close to the front of the body. It can be really far away. Or you might even give the arms a rest and cradle and rock with that front leg. You kind of get to choose what's best for your body. And then we'll take one last big breath in and set this foot on the floor. Straighten out both legs. Shake out any tension you might have, and we'll bend the left knee. Cross the foot over, and right hand comes around to the front. Left hand behind your back, turning your torso, your shoulders, your neck. That spinal twist sitting down. This helps the digestive process, wringing out the intestines, helps align the spine as we twist it in one direction and now in the other. And then slowly come back forward, loosening up the hip. You might have started to feel that stretch on the outside of the hip. And we're going to stretch kind of the inside of the hip. It's a horizontal muscle. It's called your piriformis that runs from the outside of the hip to the inside of the body. It's a horizontal muscle that goes towards the groin. We'll take one last big breath in here. And then when you're ready, set this foot down and lengthen the leg out. Shake out any tension. And we're going to bring your feet a little bit wider. It does not matter how wide they are as we shift your weight side to side. You'll lift up one hip, then the other, readjusting the sit bones. And then walk both hands to the front. And then over to the right side. Keep left hand forward, right hand comes back behind you in what we call the reverse triangle. So we look to the back wall, stretching the lower back on that left side. And we'll come back and reach left hand towards the big toe, thumb turns down, pinky turns up, and we'll inhale, lifting up to the sky. And then exhale back down, somewhere in between. We're thinking of stretching from the hip through the fingertips, so we lift up tall. And then lean to where you need the stretch for your body. So it's a little bit different for each person. It's like your hand's a shooting star pushing away from the torso, Really lengthening the arm to the sky. Right hands anywhere you choose. It's just along for the ride. Then we'll slowly come down towards the ground and walk your hands to the center. Shift your weight side to side. And walk both hands over to the left side and bring the left hand back behind you. And then we look to the back wall in that reverse triangle, sitting down. And we'll come back forward and reach right fingertip towards the left big toe. Thumb turns down, pinky turns up. We're going to give each other a big high five for coming today. I'm working on my high five challenge, giving yourself a high five in the mirror every morning when you wake up. Let your body know how much you mean to yourself. I don't know. Supposed to help with self-confidence, self-esteem, and bring happiness and joy to your life. So can't hurt to give yourself a high five. We're thinking of lengthening from that hip up through the fingertip. One last big breath in. Exhale, reach a little bit farther. And let the hand come down into the front. We're gonna rock side to side, lifting up tall. When you're ready, the legs come back to the center, nice and slow. Shake out any tension, point and flex the feet, and we'll bend the knees and roll like a ball onto your back. So we're gonna roll gently back and forth a couple times, massaging the spine. And eventually we'll be all the way on your back. Place your hands on your knees and draw a little circular motion. And then reverse the direction. So we're kind of loosening up the tension between the hip bones, that lower spine. Place your feet on the floor, lift the hips up off the ground, tighten the glutes. Breathing in, exhaling out. Lift the heels up off the mat. Think of a lowering down from the shoulders, one vertebrae at a time, till the tailbone's the last thing to touch the floor. And let the legs sway side to side. Let both legs fall to the left. If you'd like, you can place left foot on top of the right knee. So the legs are crossed. If that's uncomfortable, keep both feet on the floor. You might choose to lift that hip on the right up to the sky and then lower it back down. This is called a low spinal twist. If that left foot's on top, bring it down to the floor and let the knees sway side to side. Both legs will then fall to the right. If you'd like, you can place the right foot on top of the left knee or keep that right foot on the floor. You might choose to lift up the left hip and down a couple times, lifting it, loosening, and then holding the stretch. And then the right foot touches the floor. Let the legs sway side to side. And we'll bring both knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze, a gentle hug. We did our low spinal twist. Now our high spinal twist, arms open like the top of the letter T. Let both legs fall to the right. And you can extend out one leg or both legs, whatever feels comfortable for your body as we look to the left. Gently turning the neck, turning the spine. Closing the eyes, slowing the breath, slowing the heart rate. Bring the knees back to the center, rock side to side. Readjust the spine. Let everything fall to the left. Extending out one leg or both legs, whatever feels best for your body. Breathing in and exhaling out. Full spinal twist, lying down. I'll bring the knees back to the center, rock side to side. Lengthen the legs towards the sky for our joyful happy baby. Your hands could be anywhere on the legs, the feet, a yogi toe grip if you'd like. So we allow the legs to fall to the sides. Knees can be bent or straight. You can rock the baby from side to side in our joyful happy baby. We're going to think of lengthening the spine to the front of the room and then kind of creating a bowl with the body. So we push the belly button down to the ground, hollow out the stomach, and wrap the tailbone around and up to the sky. Joyful, happy baby. We're going to bring the knees back to the center. Give the knees a little squeeze, a gentle hug. Then gently place your feet on the floor, lengthening the toes to the front of the room. Fingertips to the back of the room, stretching, growing a little longer, a little taller. And then bring your hands down next to your legs. Roll your shoulders back and down, flex your feet, make a fist with the hands, and tighten all the muscles in the body. Tighten, tighten, squeeze. And then release. Feeling the difference of the relaxed body. Now this is your corpse pose. The next few minutes is yours for rest and relaxation. So just close your eyes, clear your mind, and let your body be at peace. Keeping your eyes closed, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently roll onto your right side. And when you're ready, open your eyes and walk yourself up to an easy sit position, which means the legs can be crossed or straight or anywhere in between. And we'll start to draw a little circular motion, loosening up the back. And then reverse the direction, loosening up the spine. And come back to the center, shoulders roll to the ears, back and down. Shake your head yes. Let the hands fall to the sides. And then up, inhale up to the sky and down, heart center, a little pressure with the palms. And then tuck your hands under, shake your head yes, loosening up the neck. Shake your head no. And shake your head yes again. And lift up high. Get that little love heart over your head. And exhale out. Inhale for your body. Pushing out toxins. Inhale for your mind. Inhale for the spirit. Bring your hands heart center. And namaste. And thanks for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of the week. You're welcome to. Well, and today there's not another class afterwards, so it's kind of great.
Thank you.